Computer. Lights.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. So we are now kind of hanging out in the land of Fridayness, coming up on a weekend. Rocky Mountain Con's going on this weekend, although I'm not actually going to be there tabling because I haven't quite come out of my COVID thing. Not like I'm necessarily happy Friday, Colleen. Good to see you. And hey, Brent. Yeah, I mean, I'm not like worried about COVID. I just haven't gotten organized. Like all of my table stuff is under there somewhere for tabling. And yeah, Ron's going to be there. I mean, actually, my feed is sort of starting to light up with all the people who are going to be there. I don't know whether Colleen's going to be there. Think Nerd Alert News is going to be at Rocky Mountain Con this weekend. Anyway, so, but like Geek Tank never quite got organized to go, so we're just kind of like we're all over the place. It's really funny. So like Nerd Alert won't be there either. So like the two of us are like, what are we doing? Does anybody know what we're doing? Nobody knows what we're doing. So anyway, it's still kind of, I feel like I'm still in that I don't know what I'm doing with my world yet thing. Yeah, we'll see you next year. It's all right. Well, I think the next big target for me is going to be Hexacon. So I'm looking forward to Hexacon starting off the next year. And that's when I'm going to start tabling again. I've decided I'm going to get back into the swing of things and start doing the stuff and get back in there. And then Geek Tank will be based out of my table, which will make it a lot easier for Geek Tank to be prepped and ready to do stuff if they need to, because they can just come over and get stuff off my table and out they go. So it's a thought. So Pepper is getting breakfast for Bill. So for the moment, he's not here, but he'll be here. He said he'll be showing up here in a few minutes. So I'm just going to work a little bit on commission work this morning so we can get some more work done on the Greek commission thing. Yeah, sure. I don't know what I'll be doing for Hexacon. I think probably the best and most lucrative thing for me to do would be to draw your characters, the draw your characters thing. That was pretty good last year, or I guess 2 years ago. So switch over here and work back on our Greek doodly wop that we were doing before. We're working on Greek painting of some sort. This Laocoon guy we're working on before. I just need to find my stylus. Where'd my stylus go? Oh, my stylus. You know what? The other stylus has been on the charger for like 4 or 5 days. So I'm going to swap styli. Yeah, it was my last physical convention too. Before lockdown. And then NDK rolled back up. And so since NDK rolled back up, I was at NDK. But boy, that was a thing. All right. One of the things I'm noticing graphically here is this sort of graphic on top, which I like. So I'm going to go on ahead and introduce that into this guy too. So I'm going to take along the top here and put in just a straight line to indicate that we've got kind of that thing going for us so that we know that that's there. And I'm going to go on ahead and cut through sort of the top here of this piece. And we'll go back through and clear it out so that it's not in the way. But that way he's kind of going, you see how Apollo's helmet is going above the line on that one? We're going to do that here too. I'm going to take this guy and make him just slightly, like this, so that I can go in here and just pull out all of this so that all of this isn't going to be visible. So we know that. So we're just going to move it along here. We'll move this to here. We're just gonna cut this line just a little bit here. I think actually all of it's probably cut to about there. Right, so here we go. Go back in here. Use still that technical pen. We like the same size we had before. So I'm going to go on ahead and just keep that size going. Here's Lao Kun trying to get the Kraken's tentacles off of him. Won't work. He's doomed. Doomed, I tell you. Doomed. Not to be confused with domed. If you're domed, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. So we don't have to worry about that. Many people are domed and we don't make fun of them. It's the nature of things. So there we go. I'm going to just take this here. Like I was saying before, I really love the way that this is draped right through here. So I'm going to try to mimic that drape down here, right? It sort of had sort of this thing going for it. And then like so, and then back like so. And back and forth. We're just going to kind of try to match that drapery pattern. So we'll be doing that, kind of going like this. And then we'll match that drapery. Sort of the same way we're kind of moving along the drapery of his robes here. Just like this, we're going to want to pull the back part of the drapery up too, because it's folding back and forth here. I also put this line, this cross line, and I really now regret my decisions. I regret my life choices. Okay, there we go. So do that. We're bringing that drapery in. So this is much the same thing as over here with the drapery of her skirt, and match it for this robe. One of the other things I'm liking is the lines and the dots on her skirt too. So I'm going to take that and shamelessly steal it. Me being shameless. Watch me be shameless. But the lines give real depth to this robe. Right, so we're going to kind of do that here. All right. Coming out and around here like so. There we go. So all I'm doing is just matching sort of the design drapery here for the robe, because we're going to want to show that parts of his robe are being pulled forward like so. You know, like this is that part that's got lines in it. So we're going to come back through here and just make sure that those lines are in. Now I think the ultimate end design for this is a patch, like a uniform patch. So I want to make sure that my lines are bold and strong. And now we want them to match. So see how it's kind of curved here? I'm going to curve it here. There we go. Like so. So there we go. I'm also going to do the same thing back here. And I'm looking at like their feet. And I mean, he has greaves. She looks like she's just wearing sandals. But boy, the detailing on those sandals. I'm kind of jealous. Kind of want to make that detailing. I'm going to do that. Her sandals are cool. So let's go over here and let's talk sandals. All right, so we're going to do this. All right, so what we're kind of doing here is I'm just putting in all the detail on the toes because I'm looking over here and there's a lot of detail. The Greeks were really into detail. So okay, so looking at this, look at how wrapped these are. Wow. So there's a band that goes forward over like so, and then hooks under. Yeah, and then there's this loop right here, right? So this ties to the sandal. There we go. And this loop going for it, right? Wow. I don't even know what the top of her foot looks like at all. I can only speculate that this goes this way. I'm just saying this is kind of cool looking. So there are two loops. There's this one here, right? And this one goes this way, back and around. And this one comes up and goes towards the back. And it looks like it ties up here. I'm like, hey, it'd be fun doing these sandals. Now I'm like, that was a stupid idea. I shouldn't have done that. But that's okay. It is not, in fact, the first time that I have ever done that. Oh, hey, look, Pepper's here. Why didn't it go boop? It didn't do the boop thing. It didn't do the boop thing. I wanted to do the boop thing, and it didn't.
Hey, I don't know what to tell you. I
You are
can't control
quiet, so maybe I just have the
technology.
Have the volume down probably too much.
Sorry, I got held up.
Greek sandals. I'm doing Greek sandals.
Oh, well, okay.
Yeah, I'm all excited.
Well, that's good.
I have a commission. He wants me to do a picture of Lao Kun getting eaten by the Kraken because he warned the Trojans of the Trojan horse. So I was like, okay. He's like, can you do it like the pottery? I'm like, sure. I can do anything. It's just a matter of time.
Awesome.
Oh, Brent.
Well,
Brent
I was planning on.
I don't even know what to say about this man. That's between you two.
Well, unfortunately, Bill goes to work at 8:00, Brent. So I have to go get it if he's running behind, and that's all. I mean, it's not every Friday, but it seems like it's becoming like a ritual.
Doesn't bother me.
So
I'll just have some work to do before you get here.
So I don't know if I should start planning this show with you on this guy right here. Speaking of commission.
Oh, look at that. Ooh,
yeah.
Look at that.
Apparently, it's like 22 by like 36, something like that.
I like the size. Woo! It's big.
Yeah. But essentially, I drew... The commission is for my own house.
That's fair.
Essentially,
the ghosts
I
of all
need
the people
a mantle
that lived there
picture.
before are going to pay for it.
Huh?
The ghosts of all the people that lived there before pay for it.
Well, yes. I think I actually have it right here. Oop, wrong way. So it's this one right here that we're gonna do. It's an A-frame house in the woods. So I'm gonna do some color comps today.
Sounds awesome to me.
Yeah.
So what's your week looking like? How did your week go?
Busy, kind of up and down. My brother was here at the beginning of the week. He's almost back to Florida now. He drove back, but he's going to be coming back for doing more renovations. We got one whole room done in my house for at least flooring for right now, which is good. But also at the same time, it means that my brother has to come back and help us finish with the rest of the flooring. And he's saying that he's bringing like a crew of people to my house to do that.
Okay. Where are you going to keep this crew of people you speak of?
Well, most of them are going to be stored in Fort Collins at someone else's house.
Fair.
Because my family knows people in Colorado, luckily. So, there's that. And then my brother and possibly my other younger brother will both be here in my house.
which makes some sense.
Yeah. So there's that. And I mean, I think that's pretty much like my week. I prepped a bunch of images this past week for my event in mid-November, the weekend before Thanksgiving, for prints. So I'll have those. And I just recently did another image. Let me see if I have it here. Nope. Where'd it go? Ah, here it is. In which case, this image right here, I already scanned in to make it a print.
Oh, nice. I like that.
This image is going to be auctioned off this Sunday.
Gotcha.
So,
At
on a
Rocky
live
Mountain?
stream. Huh?
On Rocky Mountain?
No, it's an actual auction app for
Oh, okay.
collectibles called
Something.
No, the app is called Whatnot.
Oh, you cut out right then. So
Yeah.
you were like, the app is called,
Yeah.
and then you're staring at me, and I'm like, did you forget?
Yeah, no. So Whatnot, the Whatnot auctioneer that I'm working with has a bunch of my cards, a bunch of my art cards, and they're going to be auctioning them off while I'm on stream. And I'm also going to be doing some sketch cards that I'm going to draw for the stream as well and finish them there and have them auctioned off as well.
Okay. There.
Let's just say the one person's official sketch cards, hand done and everything. One of them went for $5,000 on the auction app.
You know what?
So-
I'm not going to complain. We've got to figure out a better way to get cash.
Yeah.
You, me, all the rest of the artists, we're really kind of sucking it down here.
Well, I mean, it also helps that a lot of people are realizing now that like we're the biggest impact in the for Christmas right now seems to be local crafters, like local crafters, local artists. They're the ones that will be able to
Break
try
stuff.
and reach something. Everything fell. I'm
You
okay.
know, are you dead? Are you dead?
Well, I mean, Brent, you can sell your soul all you want. I mean, I'm not going to stop you. Like, if you feel like you can get 3 to 5 million for your soul,
At this point in time, you'd think that'd be kind of a going rate, right? I mean,
You
it's
would
gone
think.
up since whenever I sold my soul for like a couple of thousand. I mean,
I mean, I sold my soul for my talent. Does that help?
How's that working for us?
It didn't work out so well.
Yeah.
Not so well at all because I was never guaranteed a job. Oh wait, no, I didn't sell my soul for talent. I sold my soul to the art college that I went to.
You never had a chance to sell it. You kept giving it away.
Oh.
Shush! Shush!
Burn!
Messages from Bill.
Yeah, but that was a good one though. To be fair.
To be
Okay,
fair,
so
you
tomorrow
can
is
have
Rocky Mountain
one.
Con, and so they yeah, messages from Bill. So my Fort Collins club has canceled for the day because everybody's going to be at Rocky Mountain Con. So now I'm like, maybe I won't be coming up to have lunch with you guys, and I'm going to be sad about this. Speaking of
You
messages,
can still come up.
yeah, I might come up anyway.
I mean, we're not going to be able to go to Rocky Mountain Con because we have we still have things going on at our house.
yeah, well, and I'd be in the way. There is that.
No, you can definitely probably help.
You can definitely probably help.
Yeah.
Yep. So
You just don't want to be put to work. That's what it is.
he's reading my mind. Can you hear what I'm thinking right now? Pizza.
Tube socks with
Pizza. Oh,
tube socks wearing a tube socks wearing turkey. What?
how'd you know? Wow, it's creepy.
Have you seen the new trailer for the second Addams Family 3D animation movie?
No. No.
So
I have
Wednesday
been limited contact as much as I possibly can.
in it, Wednesday basically says that she can read people's mind. Just look it up. It's hysterical, and it's along the lines of what we were just talking.
What we were just doing, huh?
Yeah.
That's funny. That's funny. Wednesday has always been sort of my favorite character anyway. She cracks me up.
What I find interesting is everyone makes Wednesday older than Pugsley, and if you actually go by the original cartoon, not cartoon, cartoon, because it's a cartoon strip. Wednesday and Pugsley are actually born on the same day. They're twins. They're a set of twins.
I think it's probably was designed to be because Wednesday is funnier if she's a little girl or if she's older, if she's the older sister.
Well, in the original series, she was actually the younger sister.
Well, that's what I mean. Is like it's funnier if she's the older sister.
Yeah.
That's probably a decision somebody made and said she's funnier if she's or who knows. What I think probably happened was when they cast the TV show back a zillion years ago.
Yeah.
They found an older girl who nailed Wednesday perfectly and a younger boy who nailed Pugsley. So they went, well, we'll just change that. And since then, it's just echoed down because everybody's, we love the TV show, so we'll make a movie,
Yeah. Well, no, the original 1960 show, Wednesday was younger.
I don't remember that. Then it must have been Christina Ricci.
Because Pugsley was
cooler.
Yeah, it has something to do with the 90s movies, not with
I don't remember Wednesday being younger.
Wednesday and Pugsley were the same age in that one.
Yeah, I believe you. I just don't remember it.
Well,
yeah,
I just got through watching it nonstop.
That's what
so
Brent is saying. So
yeah.
Hey, like I said, I absolutely believe you.
Yeah, the other thing that I still can't get over is I've seen John Astin talk about his role as Gomez Addams.
Mm-hmm.
And what I find interesting is he basically is credited for including the reference to being Catalonian, or basically,
right?
Yeah, he's the one that actually is there. Yeah, Brent, I will agree. However, I do have a problem that he already cast Moon Zombie. I forget her other name, but basically, Rob Zombie always casts his family in roles. And I hate to say it, I'm not saying it's nepotism, but I seriously, I love Rob Zombie, but at times I kind of I really want to know what type of choices he's going with this one. Yeah, Sherry Moon Zombie is more is Lily Munster for the new movie.
Okay, that is a choice.
She's a good actress for Rob Zombie flicks,
right?
So and I like Rob Zombie more than I like Stephen King.
Definitely a plus, I guess.
Yeah.
I should have him not have one sandal. so I can have the Reddit meme on here.
That's too far.
You know he's dying because he lost his shoe.
Well, like you do in Greek mythos.
Right. Although looking at the picture here, Athena still has her shoes, and she's clearly dead. So there's that.
Why would you kill Athena?
I don't know. I just work here. I didn't draw this picture.
Jeez.
She may not even be dead. I don't know. Again, just work here. I was talking to my wife this morning, and I was like, well, I don't know. I may never, ever be able to get a real job ever again. And she's like, I sort of resigned myself to that one many years ago. I don't know why you're still fighting it. I'm like, because I keep hoping. She's like, it's just making you depressed. I'm like, so gotta just make being an artist work, I guess. I don't have a choice.
No.
It's good. I mean, at least this is sort of what I was called to do, but it's still kind of sad to kind of make that, realization.
I was working retail when I realized, yeah, I can't do retail. I can't do this type of work anymore. I really can't. I was coming home and I was doing drawing on the weekend, or when I was off work.
Mm-hmm.
I was barely sleeping. I was doing double duty. I was doing both, working at a retail job and working at my art career, and I had to choose. Unfortunately,
Well, and honestly, this is better. This is better for me. It's healthier. Yada yada yada. Certainly, that's not even a question. The problem is that, up until recently, we were, all of our bills accumulated about $100 a month more than what we were bringing in.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're not even talking about, buying clothes or anything like that. We're talking about, we were just right here all the time. So we were just always being pinched,
Oh no,
and,
I know.
And so, but now my wife's doing better in a job and stuff like that. But I also, it's one of those things. I want to contribute. And so I mean, now we make enough that all the bills are paid. That doesn't necessarily mean we can go on vacations or go anywhere or do anything or buy anything, So
yeah, I know what you mean. Like, like when my brother was here, my father kept going. He's like, well, I wish I could go on vacation and be with you and your brother there and blah blah blah. And my brother's like, I'm not on vacation. My brother's working me like a workhorse, like, which is true. Like, while my brother was here, I did indeed work him like
have grass growing under your foot for a second. Move.
Yeah, like no, trust me. I was just like, can we get back to work? Can we get back to work? Can we get back to work? Like, my other younger brother wants to come out here because he wants to see what it looks like, I guess what my relationship looks like, or wants to know what it looks like when people live like me and my husband. I'm not quite sure why he wants to come out, but
I was gonna say, I don't know. Your relationship seemed perfectly normal to me. I don't know what's going on.
I basically looked at my brother. I'm like, I have no idea what that means, but okay.
No, maybe he's being a good brother and making sure your spouse is not mistreating you.
Well, I mean, as much as I would like to agree with that, I already have like my father's biggest fear type deal is that Bill kills me. You've met Bill, so I mean,
Yeah,
quite
he's
honestly,
so likely to do that.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Probably kill me with kindness
Yeah,
and Doritos.
he's probably gonna kill you because Doritos or something like that.
Yeah.
Odds are much better that that's gonna kill you.
Yeah. So,
Bill's not really much of a threat.
no, and the other thing is like it's one of those things of like I don't like it's one of those parts of my family that I kind of just like I kind of cringe when I remember it slightly. No one wanted me to leave Florida. I'll just leave it at that.
Gotcha.
So, but um, no, I hope I can recreate this image. So far, the recreation, it's now changed the image.
That's one of my biggest problems. I'll come up with an auxiliary or I'll come up with a design and then I end up accidentally changing it and I don't mean to. And it's like,
Well, it's like I feel like if I want the same exact thumbnail, I feel like I need to blow it up to like the size I need it.
yeah, I've done that.
Because right now, like I tried redrawing it for like color comps, and the A-frame house it doesn't look as steep now. But you know what? I just have to say to myself, this is for color comps. This isn't for the final rendition. So,
I mean, when I'm serious about that, I will actually, if I like the sketch enough, I'll snap a picture of it with my phone.
yeah,
And bring it in because usually it doesn't matter. My last step is generally here anyway.
yeah.
Yep, that's my theory. Brent's spot on. That's my theory. He just wants to make sure you're happy. That's all. Because he loves you.
Well, I hope so too. I love my little brother. I love both my younger brothers. Like it's a very weird dynamic because I have 5 sisters and 2 brothers. So like me and my brothers, we seem to get along fine. It's just we have sisters too.
It's cool.
They're good. They're good people too. I swear.
You're just saying.
But so yeah. But no, I think Bill was just basically I was just like he was like I was like, what should we do for above the mantle? And he's like, why don't you draw something? What do you want me to draw? He's like, nothing too creepy. So I'm drawing an A-frame house in the middle of a wooded area with mountains in the background.
I hate to say this, but I would say draw something creepy because it's fun.
Yeah, and I couldn't resist. I drew like 3 brooms and a moon on the door. It's a nighttime scene.
Right?
But basically what it is we're gonna have his family up for Christmas, and his grandmother is very religious. She's religious, like she lives on the Florida Alabama cusp type deal. So she doesn't. Huh?
Brent saying the cabin from Cabin in the Woods.
I mean, I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think so. You guys tell me, like, if you guys can see it.
Yeah, we can sort of see it. It's not bad. I like it.
Yeah. And again, I'm doing this for color composition. It's, you know, I just want to make sure that I mean, I know what the background's going to be, but I just need to do the rest of what I need to do. But I figured we have like a bunch of other professional drawings of like buildings in my house and that we still need to put up, and we have like a few that were left from the previous owner that we want to put back up of Paris in rainy weather that they left behind. So we want to put those up.
Parrots behind. Sorry, I'm just being entertained by parrots.
I said Paris.
Oh, parrots are better.
Paris
I mean-
parrots?
Maybe they're Parisian parrots. How do we know? The mishearing on this
Is hilarious today.
is much funnier than what you really said. Yes.
Yeah.
Because now I'm imagining a whole bunch of parrots standing in the rain like, damn it, this sucks. You know, it's like this rain
Yeah.
parrots. They got like water dripping off their beaks. They're like all waterlogged. This sucks. Change it. Kind of like that. Now I kind of want to draw that.
We should just like do an entire show one day
On
where
this-
we're doing nothing but like misheard comments.
right? Well, I mean, I noticed that getting older, that's becoming one of my things, is apparently I'm mishearing things now. I mean, more than usual. I have always misheard because I have a hearing disorder. It's not a hearing disorder, it's a brain disorder because it's part of the ADD spectrum of fun.
Yeah.
But I can't auditorily, I can't discern sounds. So if we're like at the convention on the convention floor and you're talking to me, my brain cannot pull your voice out of all of the other people going, it just sounds like static to me. So I've gotten really good at reading lips, which is what I do when we're on the con floor and stuff like that. But as I grow older, I'm also mishearing stuff, which is making it funnier. So I could get really mad about it or I can laugh at it. I have chosen to laugh at it.
Yeah.
And just say, hi guys, as I grow older, I miss hearing crap. So let's have fun with it. Might as well enjoy it. No reason getting mad about it.
Yeah.
So
Unfortunately, I also have like the other side effect going on with my family with forgetfulness.
what were we talking about?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So the other thing that held me up this morning was my neighbor, who's awesome, by the way. That's why I stopped to talk to her, because she doesn't normally flag me down first thing in the morning. So I was like, what, is there something going on in the neighborhood that I need to know about? Because like I haven't talked to her in a bit, and she's been really working. She owns a bar here in town, so
Nice.
and she's the one that has like has like fostered and adopted a bunch of kids as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, all right, well, I will stop and talk to you.
I wonder what you'd paint on Brent's wall.
Um, you know what? Huh. On his wall? Like,
That looks actually pretty kick butt.
cool. I'm not really good at murals, but I will say there is a very good quality vinyl printer that can print pretty much anything that can go on anything. I'm trying to think of what I would probably put on your wall if I had to choose, Brent. And I feel like it would be something involved with Star Trek.
Just to torment him.
Wait, is Brent not the Trekkie?
Nah,
I
he's
thought
a
Brent.
Star Wars fan,
Oh, okay.
which makes it funnier. Because for
Oh,
me,
I
it
am
had
so
Star Trek.
sorry. I'm sorry. Okay, fine. Let's change gears here. Let's change gears. Sorry about that, Brent. My mistake. Let's go. Let's see. The opposite direction. We could do a big thing of Tatooine, which
Ooh.
is the only basically land in Star Wars I actually enjoy because of Two Sons. I
So
like the notion.
you're saying that it kind of feels like Arizona, maybe like Tucson's Arizona.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Oh, come on,
Yep.
that was good. That was oh, you people. It's like not able to ever get any. I thought that was a really good joke, personally. Okay,
Well, we all like cringe dad jokes here. Come on.
that's true. I'm just gonna ape this completely here. Except I like the Trojan horse having like a big structure on its back. These people didn't do that.
Honestly, every single time I've tried to picture the Trojan horse from the story, like, I always picture this giant freaking horse. And as it's approaching the gates, I always wondered why people just didn't throw a fire arrow
At it. Well, that's.
at it.
I mean, part of the whole thing is see somebody's sitting in the horse's butt. Part of the whole thing is that they let it in.
Yeah. But like all of a sudden they don't see any people, but they see a giant horse. I mean, come on, they had to have known that they were doing something.
Especially since they were fighting with him for so long. Well, part of it is I think it's a military parable. I don't think it actually happened. It's
Yeah.
a military parable. I think what probably happened was something that nobody wants to talk about. Like what really happened was the armies were in there, and then Troy, the armies of Troy backed up to the walls of Troy, and they were like, we can't go through. And so they sent a cute girl through, and the cute girl got in, and she slept with the general or whatever. And the general was all humiliated because it was his fault because she stole the keys and unlocked the gates. Or, you know what I mean? Like something that really has occurred in the past. And like nobody wants to talk about that. So
Well,
instead,
I
they're like,
mean,
we'll just
Greek
make up
mythology is
about
kind
a
of littered
horse.
with Greek mythology is actually kind of littered with stuff like that. Like
Right.
if you really truly look up the Medusa story, like how Medusa became Medusa, you actually find out she's a rape victim. Like
Yep.
she's the way she is because they basically treated her like trash after someone raped her. Like, and the gods punished her for it.
Yep.
But also the Greek mythology, you have like stuff like Artemis, man, she, no joke, she killed several men.
Mm-hmm.
She turned them into.
I was just saying that I'd be willing to bet that that's what we'd really find if we were to go back in time, is find that somebody was humiliated by this. So,
Well, I mean, I'm not gonna deny that.
yeah. Sure. It is such an obvious ploy. Sir, they have all left and stopped the siege, but they left us this horse that's obviously badly put together because they just built it yesterday, and it's a peace offering, and people are inside sneezing and coughing inside there. So I don't
Well,
know.
I just want to point out, like, you have a bunch of like men that were fighting in this war piled into a horse.
Right.
Back then, there was nothing. So they didn't always bathe 100 every day, and
Yep.
I hate to say it, that thing would have stank like bo.
Oh yeah.
Like
What's
it
this
would have
horse?
been known,
Nobody would ever guess that this horse was.
you know. Like, solve the problem. Shoot an arrow at it before it came in. I mean, but also at the same time, we wouldn't have things like in our vernacular, like
Don't look at
Trojan
your
horse,
in the mouth.
like Trojan horsing it. You know, where people like do something where you make one move and then all of a sudden it sets off a sequence of things that happen in the background.
Yep. Right. Well, that's what I'm saying is
Yeah.
I'm sure that if you were to go back in time, the real story would be something a lot more mundane, and like the girl's name was Horsius Maximus or something, and so they just made her a horse in the
Well, I
parable.
think the other thing is when I was, because I actually had to study Greek literature and whatnot in high school. Like one of the things that the teacher said outright was, based off of what we know of Greek wartime or war habits, they used to starve cities like really quickly, so they would block all the exits and entrances to the cities that they were attacking.
Mm-hmm.
So the Trojan horse, it could have been a peace offering, but also at the same time, they would be so out of it. They would have lack of food, lack of, like, they would be in full starvation mode, and
They
unfortunately,
might actually just
they may have not have realized, like, they may have been so delirious that they were easily overpowered by the small unit.
Yep.
And it's a common practice when you look at their historical data that they that we have left over from that time period.
Sure. And that's the thing, is like, that's what I'm trying to say. I mean, I'm not trying to. All I'm saying is I have learned over the years that the way things are written isn't always the way it actually was.
Well, honestly, what I think may have happened is, like, the Trojan horse, they may have basically built like some type of contraption, but to be led in the city, they probably had like food or something on it to make them like kind of entice it.
Right. Like, we're sorry, here, take this horse of food. Horse of food. Do 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 do.
Yeah.
Yep.
But also, if you look at it, the Trojan War, mythology wise, was actually started by the goddess of discord of not Roman, of Greece, called Eris,
Uh-huh.
and she used a golden apple to essentially, she carved to the fairest and then put it among the gods, and the goddesses were fighting over who was considered the fairest, and it led to the actions of the Trojan War.
Yep.
If you
The other
go by
problem
like,
with that is that it led to a whole bunch of kids slacking off at school too, because then it was all leading to Ferris Bueller, who ultimately just didn't want to go to school. See, that's the part of the story nobody talks about.
no, that's why Ferris didn't want to go to school.
Right? Golden apple.
Yeah,
We've solved everything.
yeah. But I mean, how many kids today know Ferris Bueller?
How many people know the Iliad?
Well, I mean, I had to read the Iliad and the Odyssey when I was in high school.
Yeah, so did I.
I mean, I know there's people out there that think reading Greek literature, unedited Greek literature, is a no-no for a kid.
Because you never know what kind of horrible things they'll contract by reading Greek literature.
I know, right? The main reason why I say that is we had to do a bunch of book reports about Greek literature and the gods and the goddesses and the deities and all of this stuff that we had to research for it. And like the Trojan, like some people got the Trojan War. I got like the foundation of the Greek mythology, like the Battle of the Titans, that sort of deal. And what I find interesting is the after it, like there's a part in it, and I get it, and I got to it, and I was like, huh. All the female titanesses were allowed to stay on Olympus while all the male titans went down to Tartarus.
Mm-hmm.
And the female titans that sided with the titans that are now in Tartarus, they were absolved of the war because it wasn't, they didn't blame them.
Right.
It wasn't
They
their
weren't
fault.
there.
No, a lot of these female figures were actually in the battle. They were actually fighting the gods. The gods forgave them because most of them were the mothers of the gods that took over.
Right.
But they never forgave the fathers. They put them in Tartarus.
Mm-hmm. I see what you're saying.
Yeah. And then it got me thinking, like, when I was even back then, it's like, how often do we blame like the antics of the father and not the mom in certain situations?
Mm-hmm.
Like we jump straight to the father in abuse cases, even if it's not the father's fault.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, we talk about mommy states.
Yeah.
That was one of my terrifying things having a kid was there are states where it doesn't matter what you did, the child goes to the mom.
Yeah.
And I'd heard stories of the mom being a druggie and the dad still had to fight for
Yeah.
custody and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
it happens a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. But what I just find hilarious is everyone's like, "There's nothing prudent. There's nothing about sex and violence in the Bible," and I'm like, "Have you read the Old Testament?"
Nice. People say that.
And they're like, "What are you talking about?" And I was like,
Legitimately,
"Look at the
people say
story
that.
of Ruth. Just look at the story of Ruth, please." And someone's like, "I have no idea what you're talking about," and I'm like, "Okay,
Let's go
well,
back
she
for it.
flips her skirt up for the hotel for the inn owner, and gets her and her mother-in-law a room." I was literally told in middle school that she slept with the inn owner in order to get a room by my religion teacher.
Oh, I'm gonna go
Nothing
clutch my
sacred.
pearls now. Clutching, clutching, clutching.
Sex and violence in the Bible. What do you want to know?
Right. Well, the Bible's. I've read the Bible a couple of times, and really, I never saw anything that appealed. It's fine.
As one of my friends and I were talking about.
Well, I think you mean I like Genesis
Yeah,
better than Genesis.
yeah. As I told one of my friends, the Bible seems to be a book that was written by a bunch of people who won the battle to create the history.
Yep.
It's not a true history book.
It was written by the victors.
Yeah. So,
As most war things are.
so I still need to finish some comic book work this upcoming week.
Uh-huh.
I have the auction this Sunday. And then I just have a bunch of prep work for the event later in November. That's pretty much my game plan. I have some personal stuff going on, but I will get through that. What are your plans this week?
Well, I got this guy. It's got to be done. Go to Lao Kun here. He needs to be finished. But I probably will finish him today. I have a commission of 10 pieces that need to be done by Tuesday, but the pieces can be modified. So, like, they can be modified pieces. Like, I can do 5 one way and then make a small change to it so that all 5 of them. So the topic was girls in swimsuits. So for in this case, like, I can do 5 of them in bikinis and then 5 of them take the same 5 pictures and put them in one piece swimsuits.
Okay.
So it's only 5 pieces, I guess, is what I'm trying to kind of get at, that I've got to come up with.
Gotcha.
And then I can modify them and change their colors and stuff like that. And
Okay.
so I got to do that by Tuesday. So I'll have that done. And we're gonna.
I did not think this through. Nope. Not at all. Not
Yep.
at all.
You're like,
I put all my watercolor stuff away, thinking I was going to pencil comic pages today with you.
Mhm.
Sorry. So,
You're like,
well,
how's that working for me?
At least that sounds really like it. At least that sounds like a really good thing.
Yeah.
You only
I mean,
have to drive you only have to draw really 5 figures.
yeah, that's what I was thinking too. It could be relatively easy, and it's not going to be hard work, so that's good. It is kind of a little weird because I don't usually do pinup.
Gotcha.
So
Yeah,
it's
that
going to
would
be a
be
little.
weird if you don't do it.
So it's going to be kind of weird, but I mean, here I am drawing Greek, so I mean, to be fair,
I mean,
not like
at
this
least
is in my wheelhouse either, and I seem to be doing
yeah.
just fine. So
All right. Well, I will be right back. I need to go get water.
you can go get water. I'll be right here. Here we go. We can turn that off now. And now we can actually look at this piece like it's supposed to be looked at. And I'm going to take and cut to here. And I don't want to cut off the tail of the horse, so we will go to here. And now we have sort of the desigan here, and we're good. So
All right. We're just feeling this.
yeah, we're
So if you do plan on coming up, just let me know.
yeah, I
By the
will.
way, because I think me and Bill were like looking forward to actually seeing you.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a different story. If you actually were planning on it, I'll make the drive. If you were
Okay.
planning on having me out there to help you paint ceilings and stuff, I'm not sure I'm into that.
Well, I think also Bill said something about you were trying to get him to help you with some type of computer thing.
Yes, although my computer is not ready for that, so we'll have to do that at a different time.
That's all right.
And the computer is willing, but my wallet is not. I need to put
Well,
in
I mean, I can understand that. I
Brent.
can
Brent is
understand
not
that
wrong.
fully.
He's been trying to get me to make it to get an SSD and put it in there in my computer for a while.
Yeah, my
And so, but I need to buy the SSD and then I need to go buy the memory, and I got to make sure I match the stick that's in there. And
yeah,
so
I will be realistic. Let's just say we've had Bill bought a table saw and several other types of power tools recently. So
sounds power tooly.
yeah. A-frame houses, do they have orange roofs or green roofs?
Red usually, I think. So orange.
Like a orangish red?
Yeah. I am saying that really quickly, so the hopes are that I might be right. Because I just realized I'm saying that completely on impulse. Like, it's red, you know. But now that I think about it, I'm like, I don't know where that source is. So,
Well, worst case scenario, I can always just basically do multiple colors on the roof and hope it looks good.
works for me.
You know. But a lot of people have been voicing their opinions about us becoming parents this year, so
I'm voicing mine too. I think you'd be fine, parents.
yeah.
That's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it.
Yes.
I think the biggest reason you'll be fine, parents, because you want to be parents.
Yes.
That's like my number one. If you want to be a parent, then you'll be fine. You'll be just fine. Because really, all kids need is to be wanted. That's pretty much it.
Well, yeah, I believe so too. And it boggles my mind sometimes when people like sit there and will say to me out loud, like, and sometimes even in front of their kid, like, I hate my kids. I'm like, yeah, this is something I don't need to hear from you.
Yeah. No, you just need to. I mean, and even parents who become accidental parents, those guys are fine so long as they are okay with it. They get
Yeah.
into it, they're fine. And we're doing Greek drawings today, Ghost Hand. I have a commission to draw Lao Kun getting taken by the Kraken while the Trojan horse is taken into the gates of Troy.
And I am working on a color comp.
That is definitely true. There are people who do underestimate just how difficult it is to raise a child. I absolutely agree. And and they, I have sympathy for those guys. Every child is different. Although I think all children have problems somewhere along the line.
Honestly, I think if everyone had a manual for children, I don't think anyone would think parenting was a bad idea. I think that is
Well,
something
thinking
that
about the
parents
difference
probably
between-
would like.
Yeah.
However, parenting doesn't come with a manual, and every parenting method does not work on every child.
Right, but I also feel like my niece, she was
Uh-huh.
the sweetest little kid. Like as
Uh-huh.
a little kid, she was like awesome. She was
Yeah.
she was helpful. She wanted to be with you, gently helping you do things. And
Yeah.
she was constantly, are you okay? Do you need anything? That kind of stuff. As a teenager, she was a lot rougher. And now
Oh
she's
yeah.
coming out of teenager and she's going back to that original kind of sweetheart. Whereas
Well,
my son, on the other hand, has been a pretty rough child as a child, but now he's developing, and as he's coming up on teenager, he's actually kind of cool. And we're getting along just fine and everything's okay. So
well, it's like I tried to explain to my sister at one point because like her son was like very close to her when he was little, and they would go and do stuff, and he shared stuff to her and all this other stuff, um, and everything. And now that he's like almost 17 type deal, he's 16 right now, and he's studying to be like to get his driver's permit and all of this stuff in California. Um, my sister's having problems with them, and I had to basically say, I was just like, at a certain point, like mothers who kind of don't realize that that boys tend to want to go with their father at a certain point, like want to hang out more or just do stuff with their dads more often, tend to do that in the teen years.
mm-hmm.
And girls, they're either hit or miss, man. They're like, I have 5 sisters, and I have one sister who went total mama's girl. I have another sister who was very close to my mom, to my mom. I have another sister who went the complete opposite direction, and it was only close with my grandparents.
Mm-hmm.
Like every sister of mine was different and unique, and I watched that unfold. I watched it happen. And I want to say I mainly saw it with my sisters. I didn't really see it and I saw it with my male cousins. I saw it with my female cousins, and it kept proving right. Like at a certain point, like when you're a boy, it's just like your dad seems like someone that you want to go to more often than your mom. Not saying it's always the case, but in my case, every single thing I observed, that's my opinion. That's my 2 cents about it.
Yeah, I mean it all depends on how you look at things, I guess. I like how Ghost Hand's like my worst years yet. Like he expects he's going to do worse.
I will be realistic, Ghost Hand. My teen years were a nightmare for my parents. So
Mine were no picnic either. However,
well,
I wasn't the real problem child as far as like getting in trouble with the law or anything. Oddly, that was my sister.
oh.
I know, right? Especially since that's not what she does now for a living. So,
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I know how to run from cops.
right? No, I was the one that tried to set off fireworks in a parking lot with a cop with his lights off sitting in the parking lot. I'm clearly too stupid to do that. So I was like, well, that's nice. We're going to get arrested now. He let us go, but it was still, he let us go, I think, mostly out of sympathy because he was like, really? Really? Did you just not see me sitting over here? He was literally like, I don't know, inches away. It was very,
Literally.
it was really sad. It was a very sad moment in my teenage career. Me trying to be a hellion, and it just, backfired a lot.
Well, I mean, think about it this way. My teen years were spent in Florida.
Right? You were wrestling gators.
I only went cow tipping once.
I only wrestled one of them. You don't have to keep bringing that up.
Ugh.
Okay, I feel like I'm not getting.
So I found out yesterday that our gas connection is not turned on to our gas insert fireplace.
Oh, that's not good.
So we have to figure out on how to do that. We found the hole that we turn it, like we're supposed to put in a tool to put in there to kind of like kick it on, but we haven't found the tool to do it. We think that they may have not have left it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Poor Ghost Hand. He's setting fire to boxes. I don't know, man. I had a moment where I was into fire, but then I got over it. I think like 7th grade.
I haven't gotten past mine yet. No.
You're still burning stuff, right?
I
Yeah.
still burn stuff. It's the fastest. Well, also, I just want to throw this out there that I'm from a construction family who, like, if we wanted to destroy something, we just set ablaze a big old bonfire
Right.
instead of going to the dump. So that should tell you right there on the type of mentality I grew up with. Like, if you really wanted to hide something, just wait until they had the bonfire.
That's where all your porn mags went.
No,
No,
it's
you kept your porn mags, man. You're not.
No. Those went in recycling. I had no problem with that.
See, that's one of those things that's funny. That's good.
I'm joking.
I'm
I didn't
glad
really.
you were responsible there. That's all I gotta say.
But yeah. No, I mean I had friends growing up that got actually put in. They got arrested for arson as kids. They set a whole entire end cap of a block on fire.
Oh, see, that's not good.
Yeah. Regardless, to say I was the problematic one. I was the one that all the parents ever blamed because I was usually the oldest out of all of them.
You're like, you should have known better.
And I was like, it wasn't my idea, and I don't own firecrackers, so A and I
So
B.
when
I
we
was
set
never
bonfires
there
up,
when this
we know
stuff
who to do it.
happened.
Who to get to do it. We're gonna get Ghostian to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. I think I'm overworking this now. All right. I'm just going to show you guys. You
I'm
tell
trying to
me.
match this pattern here, and it's like, oh.
You guys tell me. What do you think of this color comp?
No, see, that looks good. I like that. See, but the thing is, Brent, you're younger than us. So, well, you're younger than me anyway. I didn't even have access to a video player until I was like 12 or 13. And then
Well, I had access
family
to a video player. I had access to a video player. My problem was the fact of I had to figure out a long time ago, do I want to end up in jail or do I want to actually live my life? And I just learned on how to basically skirt around getting caught.
You know, we're talking about porn mags, right?
Yep.
'Cause now you've added a whole complication to it.
Well, think of it this way. I had 3 sisters and a mom growing up in my house. All right. 2 of my other sisters and my brothers came later in life when I was already a teenager.
Right.
So, I mean, no one really talked to me about things. And if I tried, it was always turned into some type of joke. So, I just stopped.
Never had a problem accessing adult content. Yep. No, actually, I was talking the other day. I was talking to somebody who we were recalling the days of the cable box, where you'd flip to channel 19, which was the Playboy channel, and there was a little, there was like a lever. So it was like 10 buttons and a lever, and that's how you got 30 channels, right? Because you put the lever to the top position, and then you push the buttons. Then the middle position, you push the buttons. And then the down position, you push the buttons. So you go to channel 19, and you took the little lever, and you put it right between the up and the down, and it allowed you to see in between, like it would sit there and still go, boop, 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 but you could kind of see in between all of it.
Yeah.
We were talking about that because we were like, oh, that was so amazing back in the days.
So in our neighborhood, by that time, it was the late 80s, I had some friends over and they were like, let's watch the porn channel. You know, obviously like Playboy channel coming through on everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, sure, why not? We have nothing better to do, you know, whatever. So we flipped to the channel, which is like basically constantly on nonstop Tammy Faye, Jesus Christ is gonna save you.
Right.
And then we go to the next channel, which is the porn channel.
Right. I think that's
because you need to have Jesus in order to watch porn. Apparently. That was the line of
Who knew?
In Florida. You know,
I think I got it.
But yeah, pretty much. I'm right there with you. It's like we didn't have the talk either. I learned by doing, and basically school filled in the rest of the biological responses to it.
Which just meant that you guys were completely lost.
Well, not really.
Like
my parents like discussed it. So when I said like it wasn't like really sat down and like talked to me individual, like it's more of like I wasn't talked to individually in a very comfortable manner. It was always done very openly.
Yeah. When you have but to be fair, when you have the open discussion, you end up with the funny statements like your 11-year-old going, "Dad, thank you for having sex with mom."
Well, yeah.
And then I was like,
Like,
you're welcome. But that
yeah, like
like, I don't know
I
what to say to
I want to
that.
say I can agree with that. Like, I can agree with what you just said
Right.
wholeheartedly. It's a
But
very
you can't
awkward.
really say, "Oh, it was great," because it's like we are talking about his mom, and I don't know, man. So I'm just
Yeah,
like,
no,
"You're welcome."
I definitely get it.
That was
My
particularly
pro
funny.
my issue was basically if I had issues, my sisters were also included in on my discussing things.
And yes, Ghost Hand, it
And
was weirdly adorable. It was extremely adorable, but it was also I don't know. Okay. I
yeah,
no.
well, I'm like it's not like
I
Tales
would
of
thank her.
Earthsea.
She was in a lot of pain, man.
Yeah.
Go to her and tell her thank you, because not the sex part, but the having you was not as easy as it looked.
Yeah.
Although she doesn't remember that. It's actually really funny. Apparently,
Well,
and who knew, there's like a legitimate biological process where women forget how painful birth is. Who knew?
I wish that was the case, but not with my mom.
Yeah, well, I think they intentionally remember it so that they can yell at you for it.
Yeah, like, I was in labor for 22 hours with you.
Right?
You know?
Yeah, but they don't remember. I mean, like, I think we were talking about this because they're like, if you actually remembered the pain, because I was talking to my wife during the labor process, and she's like, yeah, if I don't want to have another kid. I don't want to have another kid. There's no way. And then later she's like, it wasn't so bad. I'm like, you wanted to kill me. Outright kill me. That's what you wanted to do. You wanted to outright kill me. And she's like, I don't remember that. I'm like, okay. It was very
I've heard of that too. It's like, what was it? It's like they want to kill you, but at the same time, like once it's done and everything, they see the kid and they're like, okay, I can live with this.
You're right. And you're like, but you wanted to kill me. This is your fault.
Yeah.
You did this. Oh, man,
You did this to me.
right? You did this to me.
No.
No, yeah. The kid had some awesome quotes because he started, of course, in 5th grade. You go through sex ed. And I was like, okay, knowing that this is the case, I want to make sure that we cover some bases that I know the school's not going to cover.
Yeah.
Right? See, then you're just you have the sex and then you're gone. Your head's been ripped off. There you go. So, um, but yeah, he had some awesome one-line quotes that were just funny as all get out. He's been watching YouTube videos, and every time the number 69 comes up, everybody goes, nice, right? So um every time 69 comes up, normally here he always goes, nice, like that. And I'm like, do you even know what 69 is? And he's like, no. So I explained it to him, and his eyes got like saucers. It was so freaking funny. And he's like, I put what in my mouth? It was the funniest. I didn't stop laughing for about maybe 15 good minutes. It was really funny. So, I mean, there are moments that are just priceless with kids,
Oh yeah.
and it's just so worth it. Makes it all worth it. Oh man. You see, that's wrong, Brent, but I love it. I'm just saying. That is so awesomely wrong. I love
Well,
that.
I just want to point out, like, the ant world is pretty much the same way.
Insects suck.
Male mates for females in the ants are kind of like basically the same way. Like, they tend to the queen, and then once the queen decides to use them, they're tossed aside.
Yep.
But the weird thing is the first male, which I found this kind of odd, is ants get paired up with a male ant, and those male ants in the new queens, they get wings, and they fly off together, and that's the first male that impregnates the queen. Then she has more males that if she needs to be reimpregnated, so essentially she continuously has this happen with children that she has.
Right. She creates a harem of her own kids.
Yeah. So that's kind of the weird factor.
Oh yeah, and actually black widows do too.
Yeah.
That's actually a thing. You don't see male black widows because they have killed them, hence the name.
Yeah. Although, I mean, I gotta say the octopi family, I think has it right. You want to know what you want to know what behavior that I really do approve of at times?
Creating tentacle porn for anime.
No.
Oh, okay, because that's what I assume that all the octopi have ever done.
So female octopi actually have 8 legs. Male octopi only have 7 legs, and one is their penis.
Yep.
And their penis can be ripped off
like
and
I
still
said, they're
inseminate
making
a
tentacle
female.
porn for.
Yes.
I mean, that's.
But here's what I'm getting to.
Oh, yeah.
If a female is persistent on wanting to have children with one of them, and the male doesn't want anything to do with it and doesn't really want to participate, he will literally rip off his own tentacle that is the penis and throw it at her. It is
Ghost Hands like
ultimate.
this is a weird episode.
Like, it is a weird episode, but like,
legitimately,
I don't even know what's going through my head. Like, I don't know why. I'm talking about this, but I am.
I mean, let's be realistic here. We've talked about artificial artist check-in Friday. We've talked about artificial intelligence. We've talked about and if you were with me like on Tuesday or whenever, I was going through all of the stuff for one of my races, including how they reproduce. So, like, all of that was happening. So this has been going down for a while. Nothing new. But yeah. Oh, and he's fine with it. He's saying it's great. I'm just he's not upset. But yes, we are definitely on the weird path today.
Yeah. But no, I'm like, I feel like something's just like in the air this week. I really do.
Yeah, trees are having sex. Speaking of sex, that happens all the frickin' time.
So I was just sleeping on my high, and I woke up and I'm still high, and I'm like, oh god. Hold it together. Let's fix it.
There we go. I am totally just mimicking exactly the pattern. That's me. I'm just going to steal this pattern. Somehow, I don't think he's going to care. Well, of course, now I'm going to say that. Then he'll be like, no, why did you do that? That is obviously the, blah, 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 blah pattern. You've ruined everything. No longer my friend. And I'm not paying you. I really kind of rolled that one out, didn't I? There's that. Beep, beep. Alrighty. Alrighty. You're getting your kid for adoption now that we've talked about all this stuff. Oh, I'm just prepping you for all the funny things that you know are going to happen. You know it. You know it.
You know what though? I'll be realistic. If it does happen quickly, then that means that I will have a possibly at Thanksgiving and Christmas this year. So I'm not too concerned. My only concern is the fact that I don't have one of the major things that my adoption agency wanted me to fix first. But that's fine too. I can deal with that.
You drink too much
You
coffee.
know,
That's what it is.
yeah. No, it's actually a railing system that I need. One of my friends is designing it. We're going to, since the house was built in 1972, we're like literally going 1972 style modern. Where basically we're taking like these wood poles and we're going to be having them go to floor to ceiling. And then there's going to be a portion of it where we can actually like lift up and turn so that we can get furniture down into the basement.
Oh, cool.
But we need the system so that we can set it all up so that we can get it all situated.
Situated.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like we could build it, but she said that she was designing it for us. So it was like, all right, well, okay, cool.
I'm not arguing. I'm just saying situated because,
Situated?
Because that's the way we say it in the South. Situated. You're like,
I always like the phrase used to could.
Yeah, used to could. It's just like stupid stuff. Why do we do these things to ourselves?
Well, it's like
I didn't do that to
I was watching something and someone was like, that doesn't make sense because they were talking about American slang. And the word, in the slang phrasing here in the United States, I could care less.
Mm-hmm.
And someone like I guess from Britain was like, what do you mean you could care less? Like, isn't it? Does that mean that you couldn't care less, or
right?
Like,
what are you trying to say?
What are you trying to say? And they're like, it's just a saying. And they're like, but you said it in a way where you really don't care at all, but you phrased it in a way that it means that you do care, just not as much. And it's like, yes, that's the saying. And like going back and forth, yes, that's the saying. And they're like, I still don't understand. And it's like, it's not meant to really be understood. It's just a saying here in the United States.
Oh, because we're really good at making it so that if you are not native, we're really good at mangling the language so badly. I mean, I keep saying this all the time. I feel so bad for like Asuka, and she has to come over here and she tries to learn things like, you say, do you not want to go with us? And she'll go, yes. And I'm like, okay, now I'm confused. And she's like, why? You said not. And so I was confirming the not. And I'm like, okay, yes. But in English, if you say, do you not want to go with us? You say no. And she's like, that doesn't make any sense. And I'm like, I know, I'm so sorry. I'm like, I've got nothing.
Yeah, it is like something part of like English language that is not the it definitely has its moments where it's like, maybe this is a positive thing, maybe this is a negative thing. I don't know. But two negatives equal a positive, so that means that you're really wanting to go with us.
Right? It's like, no, I don't know.
But in certain cases, it does not mean that.
Right?
It actually means you don't want to go. You don't want to
wanna
go.
go with us.
Yeah.
And I feel so bad whenever it's like they're all like, I don't get it. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I wish I could explain it, but I can't. Because
yeah.
really, English isn't a language. It's three languages in a trench coat trying to pretend to be a language.
What is it? It's French, Latin. No, it's Latin, German, and what's the third language?
It's it's French.
Because I
and
know
German.
anything. I
French
know
and German are the
anything
core, and then
Yeah.
Latin comes in from the religious roots. So like anything
Yep.
Christian or anything like that. But what it was in London, there were German soldiers and French aristocracy. So that's the reason why if it's a very simple word, it follows German rules. If it's a complicated word, it follows French rules.
And
But
if it's like a
underneath
word like
all of
and if
that,
it's like a word like mouse or goose
right?
or something along those lines.
Those come from the Picts. So
Yeah.
it comes from the original people who lived in the British Isles. That's why there's no plurals, because that language had no plural. So
Well,
fish
it's like
and
fish.
and moose and sheep and things that were there don't have a plural because they
Right.
came from Pict.
Yeah.
But goose and geese, that comes from French, because we didn't have geese in the British Isles, apparently. Who knew? So you get like that. And then like why you use certain words where we use like es, and certain words use s for plurals, and certain words have plurals and certain words don't have plurals. That depends on whether it was aristocracy, high level, high class, or whether it was low level and it was the soldiers. Because if it was the soldiers, then we were using German.
Yeah.
I actually kind of was fascinated with this at one point in time, because I had to explain it so much to people, because they were, like my fellow teachers. My fellow teachers would be like, okay, I just learned this about English the other day. Why is this? And I'd be like, I don't actually know. And I'd have to go look it up for them and then come back the next day to school.
Yeah.
And say, okay, here's why. We say X and Y and Z, and so it was particularly fun. It was actually, I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed that aspect of being in a different country. Oh, you get to drink now because I'm talking about Japan.
Yep.
You get to drink. So I did enjoy that aspect, but I did enjoy the analysis of English, because we learn the language, and even when you learn the language in school, you don't get to analyze the why. It's kind of like Portuguese and Spanish and how those two branch and things like that.
Yeah.
Or you talk about French coming from Latin and Spanish coming from Latin, and like all of these like aspects. I love that stuff. That stuff fascinates me.
Yeah, the one thing that I always found really funny when it came to like everyone's like, why is Portuguese Portuguese and why is Spanish Spanish when they're from the same place originally? And
I'm like, you should see the history of Portugal versus Spain. That is a long.
That is a whole nother subject, but like there's I mean, there are like, because I like my dad's from Rhode Island, and like Portuguese culture is very big there, from Portugal, and there are people from Portugal that like it's kind of like Italy. Like you have a base language that every kid is taught, but then you have local dialects
Sure.
that
Well,
like
that's the same
that
thing
have
as
the, yeah.
Gaelic. That's the word I was looking for. Pictic
Yeah,
Gaelic.
yeah, because Gaelic. I mean, don't get me wrong. Gaelic is Gaelic, um, but like if you try to learn Gaelic, it's weird. It's definitely it's kind of hard to see how it affected English until you actually get to some of the words that you actually still use in English.
Right. Well,
Um,
and of course, the person who probably knows a lot more about Portuguese here would be Ghost Hand. What is going on? Stop doing this.
but like
Doing the
I'm
misread
just saying
thing.
like I'm just saying like right now I think my cousin is trying to raise his daughter bilingually. His wife is from Brazil, and so they speak to her in both Portuguese from Brazil and English. And right now, all she's doing right now is when she responds only in Portuguese.
Right.
But you can ask her a question in English, and she will respond to you in Portuguese
Correctly. Just not
correctly.
not not in the right language. I had a kid who was like that. She could respond to me in Japanese when I would talk to her in English. And I'd be like,
Yeah,
okay, so you're picking it up. You just can't say it. And she was like, yeah, that's pretty
yeah,
much it. And I was like, this is a really weird discussion because you're picking up even whenever I'm being slangy, she would get it. But then it
yeah.
was like she couldn't say anything. And I was like, this is a really strange conversation we're having.
Well, it's kind of like when I was studying French and Spanish in high school. I in Spanish class, I had no problems reading or writing Spanish. It was always my verbal tests that I would do tongue trick. I would basically have problems with because I would either get the accent slightly off or slightly wrong. Um, in French, it's the same way because you have a full on sentence that's ver, ver, verve, 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 ver.
Yeah, you just messed with my world right there. I'm just fine.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying.
I have nothing about your Verdes. I'm just saying.
I mean, but that's a full sentence.
It's like in Chinese, you can like it's all tonal, and
Yeah,
so you can like sit there and say, ma 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 ma, and that means does your mom like the horse? And you're like, oh god,
yeah,
because it's all about the tones and where
yeah,
they're placed, and all of those
yeah,
words like and horse and all of that stuff. All of those things are tonal, and it's like languages languages are fascinating to me. I love languages and I love learning languages, but I suck at it. You know what I mean? Like it took me years to get to the point where I can communicate in Japanese and I know I talk like Yoda.
yeah.
Years. And that's
Well, it's
frustrating
kind
to
of
me.
like it's kind of like I had a hard time speaking Japanese in general. However, I gravitated to reading it and writing it a little bit faster,
Mhm.
and I wrote this full on thing um, in uh, in the simple alphabet
Yeah, katakana
and
or hiragana.
katakana.
Uh-huh.
And I asked one of my friends who was from Tokyo to kind of like review it in college, and she's like, I can tell it was written by an American, but here's the edits. You actually got everything right, except you need to flip your sentences.
Yep.
you just need this. It flows this way, not this way.
Yep. That was one of the hardest things to get used to, is
Yeah.
putting, putting certain things at the end. The other thing about Japanese, and this is how you can always tell a foreigner, is they don't always have to put the subject of the sentence in. Whereas in English and most romantic languages, we have to say, Pepper is drawing a picture. He is using a pen. He will, you know what I mean? We have to keep remarking the subject of the sentence.
Yeah.
And you don't in Japanese. You just say Pepper is making a pepper using a pen and watercolors. It's blue. And you can't tell, is pepper blue or is the paper blue?
Yeah.
It's remarkably frustrating.
Well, I mean, another one that was really, it fascinated me, but at the same time, I never really truly grasped it. And I remember it being spoken to me when I was a child, was Polish. And the Slavic languages alone are horrible if your first language is English, because let's just say most of the time people think that your relative that is speaking to you in a Slavic language is like yelling at you in Klingon, but in reality it's like they're like, oh, I love you so much, thank you for coming.
That was one of my dad's favorite stories, was when he learned how to say I love you in German. Ich liebe dich. No matter which way you say it, it always sounds like you're speaking Klingon. So it was very funny. It was one of his favorite things. Dad learned German, and then when he was stationed over there, and then my sister kicked all of our butts by going and getting stationed over there as well and speaking German better.
Well, I mean, that's what you ask it. Hope that your kids do, right?
Right. Well, he wasn't offended. I was. It was my sister. I gotta be better than my sister. You know how that goes.
Well, I know how it goes, but I'm just like, if my sisters went over and they started speaking German because they were in Germany, I'm not gonna stop them from helping me out and getting some lederhosen or something,
Right. That's what she did. She got me a lot of good beer when I was over there. It's like sweet.
Yeah, I will agree. My mom, like when my mom travels to Europe, she does drink. She did get a bottle of Irish whiskey manufactured from Jameson over there. She actually got to pour there's a video of her pouring a tab to fill the bottle that I think she got, and then they sealed it for her right there on the spot.
Nice.
Yeah. So it is 6 minutes till, so I stopped doing what I was doing.
I'm hoping to finish, because I am right at the end of this. So I'm hoping.
Well, it looks good so far, by the way.
Why, thank you. Thank you very much. Hopefully, because now I just repeat this pattern. And then
don't they have a repeat pattern thing on here?
Probably. I don't know. I just copy and paste. Because I could just take this pattern like so and just copy and paste it. See, that's what I was worried about.
Yeah.
I'm going to do this and put it up on a different layer and then clean it up.
Yeah.
Because it's not straight. And it needs to be. So, yep. Anyway, I will likely see you tomorrow.
Yes. Yes.
I
you
am going to
will.
try to go to Rocky Mountain Con too, so I won't be hanging with you for the whole day. I'll just be hanging with you for a small
Well,
amount.
that's fine. I mean, I'm not gonna knock you for that. I mean, I wish I could go, but we just have stuff around here that we have to get done.
Yeah, but it's only $10 to get in, so it's a relatively cheap con.
I understand that. I understand that. I do. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I want to make sure that I'm getting everything that I need to get done around my house.
Right?
Uh,
All right. I think I like this pattern. I'll just repeat it a couple of times and we're done. Duplicate layer. This should give me a line between these two too. That'll help me.
I don't forget where drawing went.
We'll duplicate the layer again.
Okay. No, I have to apparently so I drew this character and everyone's now referring to her as a gilf. It's like a MILF but a grandma.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I had a feeling that's where you were headed, and I was like, okay.
It's all right. It's all right.
I'm kind of, I don't know. It's one of those
It's a
where you just go,
weird. It's a weird position to be in.
yeah, at some point in time, you just kind of got to go, well, okay. You do you. Yeah. It's just like, okay.
Yeah.
People have weird fetishes, folks. I can't help you there.
It would be very interesting if everyone had
The same fetishes?
the same. Well, no, it would be very interesting if someone like just openly admitted like we should do clan based mentality based off of fetishes.
Sounds like a story there, Pepper. Just saying.
It's all right. Guess what?
You're
Guess
like,
who's gonna do it?
you.
You are going to do it.
I'm gonna do it. You assigned it to me.
Yeah. You're gonna do it.
I'm like, I have to do swimsuit pictures, and that's making me not uncomfortable. I guess it's not making me uncomfortable. It's really, I say it's making me uncomfortable. It's not making me uncomfortable. It's fine. There we go. Make sure it's all cleaned up. Looks good. Looks good. Look at that. Behold, I think we have a finished product.
Cool. Now you just need a color in the background with like the terracotta color, right?
Yeah, I mean, I can make it terracotta, but I don't know what he's using it for, so that's all right. And with 30 seconds to spare, booyah.
Yep.
That's all right. That means it took 2 shows for it, and then that's important. I'm trying to make sure I keep my time on pin.
Uh-huh.
You know, kind of like keep it under a certain amount of time so that I don't have to suffer for. But the biggest problem is if I charge X amount of money for something, then I in my head I can't stop breaking it down as per hour.
Uh-huh.
Per hour. And so I can't stop thinking that. What would happen if I put this terracotta color underneath it? Now that I've set it, I'm curious. Kind of want to go a little darker, I think. I'm not going to get that same effect, am I? Still looks cool. Okay, my friend, I'm out of here. I am OOH, and we're gone for the weekend. Weekend, time for the weekend. It's all good. So, anyway, I will see you. Likely, I'll see you tomorrow morning. I'll head up to your place. Do me a favor and DM me your address at some point in
Will
time.
do.
Because otherwise, I'll just drive around Loveland lost forever in circles.
Oh no, my house is really easy to find. So
Well, yeah, but I'd still drive around Loveland in circles. I'd be like, I found the McDonald's. It'd be like the worst thing. Like, hey, all I got was the McDonald's. So, anyway, so yeah. And then I will see you. Actually, just add one line like so. I'll see you guys later. And Ghost Hand and Brent, it was good having you here today. And for everybody else, remember to have a wonderful weekend and keep your eyes on the stars. Goodbye.
bye.
Computer, good night.